you'll have to beat Hercule.
Okay, so we'll beat Hercule.
Really?
Prepare to dive into the deep blue sea once again as we uncover everything we know about the highly anticipated Luca 2. From new adventures to lovable sea creatures, let's jump into an ocean of excitement in this brief overview.
Too much oxygen up here, not like the deep, as you'll learn.
Disney and Pixar are still considering the idea of making a sequel to one of the most praised movies, Luca. But looking at their downfall, more precisely considering Pixar's downfall, it looks like the company will greenlight a sequel to this successful animated feature soon. Pixar's latest original releases, especially Elemental, didn't meet the success expectations they were supposed to meet. And now the company is expected to go back to sequels and focus on continuations rather than original projects. But what could Luca 2 be about? Is someone on board for this much-needed follow-up? Let's find out. The first installment was released in June 2021 and focuses on two young Italian sea monsters who often dream about being on the mainland. The film is set in the Italian Riviera, and even though it ends on a positive note, the conclusion still leaves space for a follow-up. And to be honest, the movie also left us with a couple of questions. Critics and fans alike enjoyed the film, giving mostly positive reviews and praising the storylines, twists, and the film's amazingly talented cast ensemble. Based on the ending and the statements made from the director, Luca 2 is going to happen. It's just a matter of time until we hear an official announcement from Pixar. For those who need a reminder, the film followed the journey of its titular 13-year-old protagonist, voiced by the Canadian actor Jacob Tremblay. Luca is an adventurous and brave child that, despite being given strict rules by his parents, decides to go to the land above, then explores the possibility of being human with his new friend Alberto, voiced by Jack Dylan Grazer. Resident of this town, Julia, voiced by Emma Berman, then assists Luca and Alberto when they decide to go to the Italian Riviera town. Luca really is an incredible journey where the beloved characters try to find out who they really are, what they want, and what kind of potential they carry. As for the conclusion of the film, we see Luca embarking on a brand new adventure, attending school with Julia. Luca leaves Alberto behind as he goes a separate path and decides to stay in the town to help his new boss, Julia's father, Massimo. So yeah, it's safe to say that the film leaves us on what seems to be a cliffhanger because we really want to see what would happen to Luca, Julia, and Alberto. So, what's the potential release date, and do we have one?
So, where will you go first?
We're gonna stick around here for a bit. We gotta fix this thing up before we take it across the entire Earth.
Okay.
As mentioned before, we're still waiting for Pixar to officially greenlight a sequel to Luca. If the company greenlights this project in 2023, we should expect to see the sequel sometime at the end of 2024 at the very earliest. Pixar Studios officially announced Luca in July 2020, and they released the film in less than a year, meaning they were working on it before July 2020. Hopefully, they are already discussing follow-up ideas, and the film is in the very early stages of development. There's already two Pixar projects set to be released next year, Elio and a sequel to Inside Out. This means that Luca 2 could also come out in 2025. The good thing is that Luca's director was especially interested in a continuation. He even shared a couple of ideas for a sequel and mentioned that he would also do a series if given the possibility. The director talked about Luca's future in an interview with Entertainment Tonight. When we pitched this, there was no Disney Plus at all, he said, adding that they really think about the film and are now in a place where people can pitch a series. I think there are wonderful new things on the horizon that are coming from Pixar in the long-form format, which are exciting. So, who else is on board for Luca 2?
Sea monsters.
I doubt your school would even accept sea monsters, right?
That's a weird joke, Albert.
Jacob Tremblay and Jack Dylan Grazer would have loved to return and reprise their roles if we want to see an enjoyable film. The two were perfect fits for their roles, and Luca 2 would be a disappointment without them. That is for sure. There's also the possibility of some cast members not being reached out to reprise their roles. Luca's parents and uncle are just two of these roles. Since the film would have to focus on Luca's school experiences outside of where he lived, we expect to see a bunch of new characters that will make this story more enjoyable. Before we continue with our exploration, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. By doing so, you won't miss any of our future videos where we dive into the latest updates and news about your favorite animated movies. Keep the conversation going by leaving a comment or two sharing your hopes about Luca 2. Prior to the release of the first film, the director revealed that Luca is inspired by his experiences in the Mediterranean seaport of Italy and the lore of that region of Italy as he spent his childhood there. Hopefully, the second installment will also explore themes such as friendship and identity. This only brings us to Luca 2, story details and mind-blowing theories.
It's an amazing dolphin impression. Please, anyone can do that.
If we look at the conclusion of the original movie, we'll guess that the sequel would again focus on the titular character and Julia at their new school. This doesn't necessarily mean the story will be set in the school. It could go to different locations around northern Italy. Maybe it'll be at the sea monster's underwater home. Maybe the fan favorite characters will go to that town. There's a lot of possibilities, which is why fans believe Luca deserves to go beyond its first installment. Do you? The original film takes place in the 60s, so maybe there'll be a time jump with Luca and his fellas all grown up. Maybe we'll see Luca in his college years. What do you guys think is the best idea for a Luca follow-up? Let us know before we check the possibility of Luca 2 happening. There have been several Luca updates recently. Unfortunately, none of them were official statements, and a lot of fans still remember the one update that disappointed us all. About a year ago, the Pixar director denied that Luca's follow-up is under development. As mentioned before, fans really want to see what happened to Alberto and Julia. What are they up to? So the director revealed that they are not working on a Luca sequel at the moment. And this was in October 2022, adding that they're actually working on a brand new project. A sequel is not currently in the works. I love Luca and its characters, of course, but I'm developing a new original film. He is also an extremely talented person with a lot of experience when it comes to Pixar movies and seems to be in contact with fans all of the time, sharing updates on his social media accounts. He's been answering questions, giving updates, and even recommending books so far. So if a sequel to Luca is happening, he'll be the first to share the news. He also directed Luca and Pixar animated short La Luna, but also worked on Ratatouille, Up, Cars 2, and Coco.
Hey, stop looking. She's too beautiful for you. I love it.
The fact that a sequel was not in development back in 2022 doesn't mean they'll never make one. These people need a break from the same characters. They need more time to come up with a proper story, especially for follow-up, since sequels nowadays lack originality and are often seen as failures. They even know how to ruin an entire franchise. If you ask me, they can take as much time as they need in order to come up with a proper story for a continuation, something that will be even better than the predecessor. Also, keep in mind that Toy Story 2 and the Cars sequel took at least 9 years to be made. That concludes our glimpse into everything we know about Luca 2. We hope you enjoyed this brief adventure into the world beneath the waves. If you found this video intriguing, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments below. Stay tuned for more exciting updates. See ya!
Hey, Vagrant! Can't afford a proper swimsuit?
Signore, signori, the Porto Rosso Cup is about to begin!